Welcome to another deep dive, and I have to say, this one's got me feeling particularly, what's the word? Reflective, maybe?
Mm.
You've brought us excerpts from Al focusing on creation, inspired by Surah Al-Ghashiyah, and honestly, it's already got my mind racing.
Yeah, there's a real energy to these verses, isn't there? Not just telling us about God, but almost like urging us to go out and see the proof for ourselves.
It's that whole concept of ayah, right? Those signs woven into creation itself.
Exactly. It's like creation is the testament to the Creator.
And you picked out verses 17 to 20 where it just keeps asking over and over, do they not look? And then, bam, it hits us with a very specific image.
The camel.
Interesting choice, right? Not just any animal.
Not at all. It's the camel, this creature that's built for harshness, a symbol of resilience. I mean, that's got to be significant. It makes you think about Tawhid, the oneness of God. That a camel, so perfectly designed for its purpose, it points back to a single creator who understands all of that.
And that sense of purpose, it just builds as the verses go on, don't you think?
Absolutely. From the camel on earth, we're suddenly looking way up at the sky, described as being raised high. Makes me think of how, no matter where you are in the world, looking at the night sky does something to you.
That awe, right? Like you're part of something so much bigger.
Exactly. And the text even mentions pillars we cannot see, talking about the sky. Even now, knowing what we know about space, that still has power, doesn't it?
It does. It speaks to how it's not just about knowing what's there, but the how of it all. But before we get too lost in the cosmos, let's bring things back down to Earth, shall we?
Please, let's. Because the text doesn't stop with the sky, does it? Next, it's on to mountains, these symbols of strength, of being unmovable.
And the word used to describe them, I was looking it up, musaba, it means firmly fixed or even placed with purpose, like they're not just there for decoration.
Which is fascinating when you think about it from a modern perspective. We now know that mountains actually help stabilize the Earth's crust.
Isn't that amazing, this ancient wisdom encouraging us to ponder creation, and it lines up with what science is telling us now. We see a mountain's beauty, but the text is saying, hey, there's function there too, think about it. It really makes you think, doesn't it? This sense of balance. We started with the camel, so resilient, and the sky held up by unseen pillars. Now mountains literally keeping the earth steady, like it's all connected somehow.
And connected in a way that's not random at all. Remember that word used for the Earth?
Yeah.
Sudihan.
Okay.
It means spread out, but it has this sense of being made suitable, you know?
Yeah, like it was arranged thoughtfully for life to exist.
Exactly. It's not just appreciating a pretty view. It's about recognizing the power behind it, the how of it.
Which brings us back to that camel, right? I mean, to be that resilient, that adapted to such a harsh environment, that doesn't just happen by chance.
Not at all. It speaks to a level of design, of knowing exactly what it would take for that creature to thrive. Honestly, it's mind-blowing when you really think about it.
With some cosmic masterclass in bioengineering.
Right, and that design, that intentionality, it's echoed in those mountains keeping things balanced, in the sky's immensity, even the fact that Earth can support life at all.
It's all related. It kind of makes you think about our place in all this, doesn't it? Like we're not just standing outside looking in at this amazing creation.
It's more intimate than that, wouldn't you say? And that's where I find this text goes beyond just being interesting facts. It gets personal. Because when you reflect on these wonders, it's hard not to feel a connection to something much bigger than yourself.
And with that connection comes this deeper appreciation, a sense of awe that, at least for me, really strengthens faith.
Absolutely. Recognizing that we're part of something so vast, so complex, it brings a humility that I think is really powerful.
It's humbling, isn't it, to realize the care that went into not just creating the world, but our place within it. It's interesting, you know, like we could have gone through this whole text, just focus on, oh, how beautiful, look at the mountains, but...
It's like it's a, don't just look, think about what you're seeing.
Reminds me of, oh, this is going to sound random, but have you ever heard of the golden ratio in nature?
I have, yeah. How it pops up everywhere, from seashells to galaxies.
Exactly. It always gets me because it's like this hidden code, you know, proof of this underlying order to creation. And for me, that just makes faith stronger somehow.
Because it's that concept of ayah again, right? Those signs. They're not hidden, but you got to put in the effort to actually see them.
Use our brains, basically, which we're told to do, right? It's like understanding the world around us is part of understanding the divine.
Which makes it so much more powerful than just blindly believing, doesn't it? This active search for knowledge.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the more you learn about the world, the more mind-blowing it gets. Makes you appreciate who created it all in the first place. And the best part is, this isn't some exclusive club, right? Anyone can tap into this.
Absolutely. You don't need a fancy lab or anything. The signs are literally everywhere, all the
Hmm.
time.
Once you learn something new, you can't unsee it. The world just looks different.
It's that sense of wonder, like finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. It's a real gift. And I think this text is saying, here's how to unlock it.
Which leads to a thought I've been having this whole time. If just these few verses about a handful of things in creation can get us thinking this much, what else is out there?
That's a beautiful question to end on, don't you think? Because honestly, the world is full of wonders. And I really believe the more we look for them, the more we open ourselves to that awe and that connection, the more alive we feel, both in our lives and in our faith.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for diving deep with us today. And to everyone listening, until next time, keep looking, keep questioning, and never lose that sense of wonder.